Welcome back to the IU427 Garage, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at how to renew some of your old tools. Maybe save you a little bit of money in buying new battery-powered tools. I recently needed a tool out of my Ranger work truck, and in the process of going through the tool bins on the truck, I came across a tool that I had forgotten was even there. And I have one of these drills already in the shop, and as a matter of fact, I also have a impact driver by the same company. And this is a rather old set. I have some really old battery operated tools. I have a 90-degree Makita drill that still takes the old 9.6 tower style batteries. And I can't bring myself to, one, tossing that tool away when it still works perfectly well, and two, going and having the expense of buying a brand new tool with a different battery platform just for a tool that I rarely use. I only use that 90-degree drill when no other tool will fit in the spot that I'm drilling. So let me show you. This is a Hitachi, which is now Metabo, 12-volt drill. And I carry these on all of my work trucks. So you guys never saw, I don't think I ever did, any videos with the 2003 Silverado that we had. We sold that just after COVID had struck because honestly we've been trying to downsize the construction business because we're doing everything we can to move out of the state. So I had one of these on the Silverado work truck. I have one on the Ranger pickup, which is where this one came from. And then I had one on the van. So the van that you guys will see out here parked in the yard here down at the shop, I had one of these on each one of the trucks. And the reason that I had a 12-volt drill along with, you know, an 18 or a 20-volt drill is because there are places that the 12-volt drill just lends itself better to get into. A perfect example of that is one of the newer tools that I have here, which is the Milwaukee 12-volt, you know, so this uses the 12-volt. It'll also use the higher capacity batteries as well. But I've always liked the 12-volt platforms because they, the tools themselves are generally just more balanced. So when you hold them in your hand, they, you don't have this tremendous weight of a battery on the bottom of the tool. And this goes back to the era of this tool when all of the batteries were a NiCad. So a nickel cadmium style battery. So if you look at this 12-volt drill, and both of the batteries are still in here, I haven't even bothered to plug in and see if these batteries will hold a charge yet, but I will. But you can see it's a nice little set. It's got a drill, it's got two batteries, a charger, and then it's got a flashlight. And I kept these on the truck because, as I said, it was just a nicely balanced 12-volt drill that would work in 90% of the applications that I needed at work. Now, if I needed to drill, you know, a hole with a hole saw that was 1.5 inches in diameter, yeah, sure, this one was not going to cut it. And I'll show you the tool that we have or had on the truck to do that type of work. But as time progressed, what happened with battery technology is from nickel cadmium, I think we went to nickel metal hydride batteries, and those we started seeing in some of the 12 volt Makita. I had some of those. So you can see we've gone through a lot of different platforms on the drills and the battery operated tools over the years. But I like this drill. And as you can see, I still have 2 of those other drills. So I've got the same exact drill here that I ended up replacing the battery drill chuck with a 1/2 inch drill chuck. And this drill still works. I use it all the time. I primarily use it just for countersinking stuff. So it's got a countersink bit, and I generally just always leave the countersink bit in there. I have a impact driver, same battery platform. I usually have a Phillips tip in it, but I do have a socket adapter right here, 3/8 and 1/2 inch that I'll put in there, and I will put wheel lugs on with it here in the shop. I don't necessarily get them torqued, but it will get the wheels put on so that I can set the car down on the ramps of the lift. So I have both of those tools, and I use them here in the shop all the time. So as I was going through the Ranger looking for something else, I found this and I was like, you know what? I haven't been using this. I might as well bring it into the shop, see if, one, the batteries work, if they'll hold a charge, and if not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recycle these nickel cadmium batteries that are the originals to this drill. I still have a set of the nickel cadmium batteries here for this set here. These still hold a charge. So these are backup batteries for the batteries that I have in there now. But I'm going to see if I can get those batteries to hold a charge. If not, I'll recycle them. But what I've done for these older tools is I've gone to a nickel metal hydride battery that I've gotten from companies on eBay and from Amazon. And so this one right here is a 12 volt nickel metal hydride. So that's NIMH. And they will still charge on the same 12 volt charger. But there are 2 things that go along with that, the nickel metal hydride. One, the battery life is extended, so the batteries actually last longer, meaning I can effectively use the tool longer when I'm using it. And 2, the batteries don't have the memory, so they don't really care at what point you charge them from. They could have a 50% charge in them, and you could charge them all the way up to 100% and use them. They can be drawn all the way down to 5%. They don't care. So I've gone to those batteries. Those batteries, the nickel metal hydride batteries, are probably 3 or 4 years old now. So you can see I use these in the shop quite a bit, and I've gotten some good use out of those batteries. Now I've had other batteries that I've bought as replacement that haven't fared as well. I'm going to move on to a different battery platform and a different manufacturer, both for the original OEM battery and the replacement batteries that I've bought for this particular tool. Now, this is another set of tools that I've previously used on the Ranger pickup. And I don't do as much work out of the Ranger pickup as I used to, but I still want to maintain the power tools that are on that truck, because in a pinch, I want to be able to take the truck to a job and be able to have tools on there that work. I don't want to be waiting for a battery charge, or I don't want to drag a cord out to use a corded tool if I can just grab a cordless tool and get the job done that much quicker. So I do have a set of 18 volt DeWalt's, and this is the old XRP style batteries. So you can see this is an 18 volt DeWalt. This is an OEM battery, and it will still hold a charge, but it doesn't hold the charge like overnight. So if I'm using these during the day, I can charge up the batteries. I can get some decent use out of the batteries. But if they sit overnight in the work truck and I go to use them the next morning, they're usually dead. And then I have 2 replacement batteries from a different company. Now, the ones that I have for the Hitachi over there are made by a company called Cree West, I believe. Let's double check. pre-best. Now, I've had really good luck with these batteries. Like I said, they've lasted 3 or 4 years, and they seem to continue to work and maintain their charge, meaning I don't use the tools every day, but when I grab it to use it for something, it's generally going to work. These from Vanon, I can't say the same thing about. Now, I don't use these tools as often as I use the Hitachi tools over there. However, it just seems as though every time I go to use one of these, it doesn't work. And it gets rather annoying because these are supposed to be, and they're listed as nickel metal hydride batteries. So again, NiMH. And all the reviews that I read on these batteries before I bought them were fairly good. So you would think that they would be able to maintain the same type of charge as the ones that I use in the Hitachi tools, but that's just not the case. Now, I thought about just going and buying another set of 18-volt batteries from DeWalt and rolling the dice and see if they last as long as the ones that I had here. The problem that I have with that is those replacement batteries from DeWalt are extremely expensive. For a replacement for one of those batteries for the DeWalt, you'll spend anywhere from $60 to $80 for a single battery. Now, you might get lucky. You might find a 2-pack that one of the local home centers or discount tool places is selling as a package, and you might get them for $99, maybe $100, $120. But those are few and far between, and so that's a hell of an investment to make on something with old technology, with a nickel-cadmium battery. Now, granted, I'd be able to use the same chargers, and I have a number of these 18-volt chargers. I adopted the DeWalt 18-volt platform pretty heavily when I initially bought into this set of tools. So I have the impact driver here. I've got the 18-volt hammer drill here. I've got the circular saw, which is a 6.5-inch circular saw, and also have a reciprocating saw that was part of that set. And then on top of all that, I have a laser level that I use for the construction business. Now, I don't use it every day, but every time I go to use that laser level, I got to make sure I got a battery that's charged. And so lately, it's become really inconvenient to charge all these batteries the night before and then cross your fingers and hope that one of them, at least one of them, is going to work the following day when you've got to do layout out on a job. So I've just kind of had enough of that, and I wanted to try something different but still stay somewhat inexpensive. So here's what I went with. And before I move forward, I don't want any of you to think that I'm bad-mouthing Vanon, that company that makes those batteries. As I said, these batteries will sit for long periods of time where I don't use them in the work truck, and then I'm probably not using them the way they should be. They probably have a way they're supposed to be stored, or you're supposed to be using them all the time, and since they sit on the truck and I don't use them, I'm probably the culprit for this. But I'm going to change the way that I use the tools by bringing all of these tools into the shop and only put them on the truck when I need them from now on, because I don't want to continue going through this. So here's what I bought to upgrade or update all of my 18-volt DeWalt tools moving forward. So the first thing I had to buy is I had to buy some adapters, because if I was going to go with a different battery platform, I needed something that was going to plug directly into the tools that I have and be able to then accept a battery from another platform. Now, in this case, the battery platform is the same manufacturer. It's just a different battery platform. I could have bought a single one of these adapters with the DeWalt name on it for, I believe, $40 to $45, and that would have been from any of the major tool supply houses or the local home centers. What I chose to do is go on to Amazon and eBay. I'm not sure which one I bought these from, but I'll include the link in the video. And I actually got a twin pack of those adapters for just under $20. I think with tax, I think I ended up at $22 and change. And this adapter plugs directly into the bottom of all my 18-volt tools. Now, you guys have probably seen these before, so this is nothing new. The reason that I'm doing this is because I have these tools and I don't want to throw them away. They're perfectly good tools. I just need a battery platform or batteries that will support the tools moving forward. So the adapter in there, and then I bought some of the lesser expensive 2 amp hour batteries because, you know, when looking at the batteries that I have over here, you know, granted they're big, but and this one is a 18 volt 4.6 amp hour, or that's what it's listed as. I'm not sure what the amp hour rating is on the original battery, but I'm assuming it's close to the same. It might be a 4 amp hour rating. All of the stuff on the side of the battery is pretty much worn off, but I'll see if I can find one of those batteries and put a link for the original style battery in the description of the video as well. But I bought a couple of inexpensive. These are probably the least desirable batteries out of all the ones for the 20 volt DeWalt platform because they're only 2 amp hour. But I'm going to see how they work out, and I think I paid for each of the batteries. I bought them separately, but they shipped together because I bought 2 of them from the same company. So I saved a little bit on shipping because they were able to combine the shipping. And that's the thing too. I did buy these on eBay. You want to make sure that whoever you're buying them from, that both the cost of the product that you're buying and the shipping is, you know, the most advantageous for you. So in this case, the shipping and the part were listed separately, but they were less than some of the other sellers wanted for the same part with free shipping. So this ended up a couple of dollars less because I chose to buy 2 of them, combine shipping, and so therefore it was a little less money. So I paid about $22 a piece with the shipping and tax and everything because the state of California obviously wants their cut. And I got 2 of them. And this battery platform will just slide right into that tool. And now we've made an 18 volt tool work on a 20 volt battery. So the difference of the 2 volts isn't going to hurt any of the internal workings of this tool. One, because there really aren't any electronics inside of it. It's an older tool. It's a brushed style tool. And so therefore the motor is probably rated for more voltage than the original battery put out anyway. And so now we have a battery system that's going to work with this tool. And at the same time, I bought a brand new charger that was probably part of a combo kit. And you know, a lot of these vendors on different sites, you know, any of the tool discount sites and what have you, what they'll do is they'll buy the tool packages as a kit, and then they'll sell off all the tools as a tool only, and they make their money back plus a little bit on top of that. And what I found is that because of that, you can find a charger for less money than you would pay for it at a local home center. So I got that charger. I think it was $19. And again, I'll put the link for the tool in the description of the video, and you guys can see exactly what I paid for it. But I received the batteries a couple of days ago. I received the charger first. It was actually the first piece that I received, and then I received the adapters and the batteries later. I ordered them all from different you know, tool places online or outlet houses. And so once they were all here, what I did is I put the batteries on the charger. I let them charge up from where they were. I didn't put them in the tool and run them to 0. They're lithium ion batteries. It shouldn't matter. But I've been using the drill driver, or the impact driver, for the last couple days. And other than one of the things that I didn't like about the tool to begin with is it's so big. And nothing has changed. Even with the old battery platform that it was on, it's not much bigger, it's not much taller than it initially was anyway. And that's with the 2 amp hour battery that I've got plugged into it now. But the tool itself is just kind of, it's kind of big and cumbersome because of, the base of the tool, where if you look at, obviously the Milwaukee, it's much smaller. It fits in your hands better, but it's got a lot of top heavy weight to it. So I've been using it the last few days here in the shop, and I actually really like it. It's probably lighter now because you're not carrying around this heavy nickel-cadmium battery. And I haven't found that the battery and the battery adapter are getting into my ways in most instances. So I'm really happy with it so far. I'll let you know over time how all this works out. I've also used one of the adapters and a battery in the circular saw. Now, if you look at my circular saw right now, you can see that the blade is mounted in there backwards. And you can see all of the debris on the side of the blade. And that's the way we cut vinyl siding. So you actually put a finished blade or a plywood blade in the saw backwards, and it'll cut right through the vinyl siding, but it won't crack it, and it won't chip it. So that's why that blade is in that saw. Now, I haven't had a chance to use the saw with the battery adapter, but I did put the adapter in there, I put the battery in there, and everything seems to work as it's supposed to. I also grabbed the drill. Now, I haven't drilled anything substantial, but this drill has always just been a monster. And so I went ahead, I put an adapter in there, I put a battery in there, and the drill seems to work just as it should. So long term, I don't have any data yet, but just as they sit, I'm thinking that this is a really good alternative to going out and buying a brand new set of, DeWalt 20 volt tools. I've got enough battery operated tools here to last a lifetime. And if I can just maintain them as they are, then my relative cost for tools hopefully is behind me, but we'll see. Now, let me go ahead and let me grab that 9.6 Makita 90-degree angle drill that I have here, and you guys can all laugh. That's how old this tool is. But for me, it works great here in the shop. I'm not taking it out on a job site, and I'm not drilling through anything substantial. Most of the time, I'm just drilling to, put pop rivets in for one of the panels that's in a difficult spot to get a drill. So let me grab that, and I'll show you what that thing is all about. This is the 9.6. It's the tower style battery, Makita right angle battery powered drill. And I've had this for, oh God, I can't even remember when I bought this. It was probably back in the 90s. And initially I used it, out on the construction site when I needed to get into a particular spot and I couldn't get my normal, because I used one of those 9.6 Makita battery powered drills for God knows how many years. And as those kind of dropped off and went by the wayside, I held on to this one because, I had started building cars. And there were just certain spots where you needed to get in to get a hole drilled that you couldn't get a standard drill. And to reinvest into either a corded 90-degree drill or another battery platform in order to have a 90-degree drill just didn't make sense. And so what I started doing is I started buying replacement batteries, again, from one of those companies on Amazon and eBay. And these are nickel metal hydride batteries. So you can see right there, it says NIMH. This one is a 9.6 volt, and then it's a, so basically it's a 3 amp hour battery, a 3.5 liter, 3.6 amp hour battery. And these work great. Now, I will say that over the past year or so, the batteries have started to degrade, meaning they won't hold a charge for as long as they did before. And, if I leave the battery in the tool, over a series of days, it seems as though the next time I go to use it, it's dead. But, these batteries were inexpensive when I bought them, and they owe me nothing because they've allowed me to extend the life of the 90-degree drill, and I haven't had to go out and invest in a new tool platform, or as I said earlier, buy a corded 90-degree drill when I need one here on the car. So they come in clutch when I need them. And so what I try to do is I try to always keep one battery charged. So once a week or so, I'll make sure that the battery gets, plugged into the charger and the charger gets plugged into the wall, so that when I need one of these, I've got them. And again, that might not be the ideal way that these tools should be used, but that's just the way I have to use them in the shop. I don't, I'm not going to use a 90-degree drill for everything, and so the tool just doesn't see the same use as some of my other drills, like the Makitas, like the Milwaukees, like the DeWalt's, like the Hitachis. And so I have like a specific purpose for each one of the drills that I have here in the shop, and this one, it just seems to be the most neglected. So it's not that I've fallen in love with this tool and I have a particular sentimental value. It's just I'm cheap and I don't feel like investing in another tool platform. As you can see, I've got a very short drill bit in here. This is a 3/16 drill, so obviously the last thing I was drilling was for some 3/16 inch pop rivets here on the project we're working on. And you can see over here, I've got a bunch of these short double-ended 1/8 inch drill bits that I use just all the time. I try to keep the sharpest drill bits, the ones that I'm using the most, right here on the end of my toolbox, so that I can always just go over here, grab the one I need, take it over to the car, rather than trying to find one in a drill index. And that's what that black cylinder is right there. That's a complete drill index. But those double-ended bits, and I get those at Harbor Freight, are pretty much disposable. You're not gonna be putting those in your drill doctor and sharpening those, because once they're done, and usually by the time they start getting dull, I end up breaking them. Meaning whatever I'm drilling through will catch it and the tip will break off, and it's just not worth sharpening. And they're pretty inexpensive. I think when they're on sale, they've got to be under $10 for, I think it's a 10-pack of those double-ended drill bits. And I know the argument, when you're drilling for 1/8 inch pop rivets, it's easier to use a number 30 drill bit because it's just a little bit bigger, and the pop rivets slide in easier. But if you're using Clecos to line up your panels anyway, there's always a bit of offset, and even if you drill it with a number 30 drill bit, you're going to find that you're going to have to go back and re-drill or clearance some of your holes anyway. And so I just don't see the expense of going out and buying a bunch of number 30 drill bits when those seem to work well, and I'm going to end up cleaning out the holes anyways before I do my final riveting on the panels. So that's what I've gone to using. You can see in most cases, I use the OEM batteries. I've had really just better luck with them. So like in my Makita tools, I use Makita OEM tools. I've tried some of the lesser expensive replacement batteries, but they just don't seem to last as long. And so what I'll do is I'll look for a sale on, I've got the 18-volt platform on the van, and I'll look for the 18-volt twin packs when they go on sale at the local home center, and I'll buy a set when they're on sale. And that way I always have batteries that are going to work. The Milwaukee tools that I have both here and on the van are all the 12-volt platform, and I always buy Milwaukee batteries. So what I found that I've been doing lately is, rather than buying a tool-only kit, I'll go ahead and buy the kit that comes with the 2 batteries and the charger, and that way I always have an extra charger, and it comes with 2 brand new batteries, and therefore I always have enough Milwaukee batteries here in the shop that I can rotate through them. So I always keep the charged batteries over here where the tools are. All the batteries that need to be charged are over here, like in my charging station. So you can see I've got a Milwaukee battery in the charger. I've got one just sitting there. I've got the Hitachi charger there, and then I've got the old Makita 9.6 charger, which we just plugged a battery into as well. So that way I keep them separate. I know which batteries are discharged and need charging, and I have all of the charged batteries over here with the tools. And it's just intuitive to me. I know where it is, and so rarely do I pick up a battery that's sitting over here that is dead. So if the battery in the drill goes dead, I just take it from there, I put it over there, and I grab a fresh battery over here and then continue working. And you can see I keep all of the cases that all of these different tools came with. So, you know, you've got the DeWalt, that's a, you know, a 9.6 volt, probably drill driver that came in that case with a battery and a couple batteries and a charger. There are two Hitachi cases right there in the center. The one that is more green to the left is for the impact driver. The one to the right is the one for the 3/8, which we've now made a 1/2 inch drill. And then that blue case is for that 9.6 Makita 90-degree drill. So that's the original case that came with. There's another charger in there because the charger that I'm using is one of the intelligent chargers that Makita came out with when they went to the nickel metal hydride platform. And so that one is better at bringing those batteries up to full. And what it will do is it'll analyze the battery before it starts charging, and if it needs to be discharged first, it'll bring the battery down to 0 and then bring it all the way back up. So that battery charger will not only charge the 9.6 battery that I got in it, but it'll go all the way down to 7.2, and it'll go as high as a 12 volt battery, because those were the first tools that Makita came out with that I think had the nickel metal hydride battery. So that's one of the intelligent chargers that came with one of those kits that I've since discarded, recycled. So the last case you see over there with the red trim on it is for the Milwaukee right here, the brushless 12 volt. And I bought that because I needed a 1/2 inch drill here in the shop, because I was using the hole saws that require the bigger arbor. And I didn't want to use something like the DeWalt drill driver because it's heavy. And so I invested in this. I've been happy with it so far. The difference with that is that because it's brushless, the motor kind of revs up to speed. You don't get instantaneous speed like you do with a brushed drill. So that took a little bit of getting used to. So that's kind of going through all of the tool cases that I've held on to. And some of the newer tools come in a little bag, a carrying bag. I think the power riveter that we bought not too long ago here for Mrs. IE 427 had, came in one of those red and black canvas bags from Milwaukee. So, all right, so what did it all cost? So for the two adapters, the two batteries, and the charger, I spent right around $100. And like I said, I'll put all the links in the description of the video, so you guys will be able to check out, where I bought them and how much I paid for them. But I think this is a really good alternative when you consider spending $100 versus spending $500, $600, $700 on a new battery platform with essentially the same tools. I mean, sure, the technology and the tools has gotten better as well. You might get a brushless tool versus an old brush style tool, but then again, how often are you using your tools? All right, I think that's going to do it for now. I just wanted you guys to know there are alternatives to just tossing your old cordless tools in favor of a new battery platform. You can see I spent $100 and basically revitalized an entire set of tools, not just the drills, the drivers, and the saws, but also my laser level. So the laser level is going to work with that same adapter and battery pack as well. So I won't have to worry so much in the future about making sure my battery's charged. These should hold a charge just sitting here. But I'm going to try to be using these tools more in the shop so that they get exercised more often. So if you're enjoying the content here, please do the like, the share, the subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.